One of the things your wife said, Suzanne, that I saw in a previous interview in my research, she's talking about moving out of your comfort zone, which can be a good thing. But part of that moving out of your comfort zone that people feel a little bit hesitant about is the safety and stability of the countries and some of the misinformation that's out there. One of the things she said that I thought was very poignant was, international living is not going to point you to a place that they wouldn't have their mother live in. And I thought that was very good. Can you expound upon that comfort zone, safety, stability, that for a lot of people and most of my clients, they can afford to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The question is, can we, should we, will we, what I'm hoping this is going to do is people listen to this podcast and go, you know what? You know what, to your spouse, this might be something we look at. We might not do, but we look at. Let's talk about safety and stability of these countries.
That's one of the big benefits of trying a place out first, getting your boots on the ground before you bust a permanent move.
Right.
Let's just take the example of Quito. When my wife and I first started working for International Living, we moved to Quito, Ecuador. We were there for a couple of years. And I sent a picture back to my mom of the place where we were living. And she said, "What's with the barbed wire and barred windows?" And I didn't even notice it. I'd been on the ground for a couple of months. This just became part of the scenery.
Yeah.
And I asked a local friend about it. And he said, here we don't call the police if something happens. We don't leave our doors open. We don't leave our windows open. We don't wait for somebody to break in and call the police. We keep our stuff secure.
Right.
Because here, if you don't take care of your stuff, if people see that you aren't taking care of your stuff, it's not really a crime to come and get it. And that's just one of the cultural things that we had to get used to.
Got it.
If you have a lot of stuff in a country where there is poverty, and there's a lot of poverty around the world, not taking care of your stuff is an invitation for somebody to come and liberate it from you. So it will get made better use of.
But there's a part of me that's thinking to myself, it's kind of a forced minimalization and a direction. And we live in a materialistic world. And it's one of those things where you don't, I know this is hard for me and you to grasp, but you don't need 20 guitars, you need one. I know it's hard. It's a hard concept for me to grasp, but
we were talking about this just yesterday about minimizing a little bit. Yeah.
We all need to do that. Everyone's nodding their head in unison, like, oh my gosh, we've accumulated so much. I think probably one of the things going overseas is you realize you don't need as much. Life doesn't demand you to have that.
Susan and I reached a point living in Ecuador, up in Cotacachi in the mountains there. It's a little leather crafting village of about 7,000 people. And there's a nice little expat community there. We lived in about 900 square feet in a beautiful condo that overlooked a mountain valley. Everything we owned was within 20 feet of us. And if we needed to bug out, we could put everything that was valuable to us in 2 suitcases and go. We could get on a plane in 90 minutes and go anywhere we wanted to do. And
that felt good, didn't it? Seriously, didn't that feel good to have it that compact from a life standpoint? And I'm assuming because you have it that compact, it makes you focus on things that actually matter.
Like the people that you meet, the experiences that you have, not the stuff that you get. Happiness depends on your relationships and the people that you know and the activities that you do, not on I won't show you all the crap that's piled around here off camera, but that's not where your happiness is. Your happiness is in your situation, the people you know, and the things you do. And the great side benefit of living like that in Ecuador was that we could save money. Mm-hmm. I mean, every payday we were working from there. We were working remotely. We can do our job from anywhere on the planet. We're lucky enough to have an online job where we can fulfill our work obligations with an internet connection. We were paying so little overhead, almost nothing for utilities and taxes, nothing for transportation. We didn't have to buy anything. It was cheap to eat out. We weren't acquiring stuff. We saved money every month, and we did that for years. I miss that.
Yeah,
As much as I love the United States, I'm going to digress a little bit here.
sure.
It's it is the most convenient place on the planet. You can get anything you want, anytime you want, with a phone call or the click of a mouse button. The rest of the world isn't necessarily like that. There are some things you have to do without,
And
some
that's okay. And
compromises you
that's
have to make.
okay.
That's absolutely okay. That's absolutely
Absolutely.
okay. And the expats that have the best time find a way to make their own half and half. If they can't find the brand of half
Right.
and half in the freezer they want, they find a way to roast their own red peppers. If they can't find exactly the can of roasted red peppers they want on the shelf amongst the 12 other brands. Um, those are the things that expats get good at doing, and it adds to your quality of life, I think. I mean, it makes you a more engaged person with your surroundings.
And I think that most people listening and watching to this, because we're on all major podcast platforms, and we have a YouTube channel as well that people are watching to see us interact and see how good looking we are, Dan, the Dan and Stan show.
Should put a little bass on.
Exactly. But I think most people are going to be looking at internationalliving.com and going there and considering retirement travel instead of just looking at good retirement travel instead of retirement relocation, even though retirement relocation is a offshoot of retirement travel.
Right.
But in essence, what we're really talking about is redefining retirement, right? Because
you're absolutely right. You talked about retirement being the second stage of life. Well, there's another stage after that. And a lot of people just aren't retiring anymore. They're retrying their lives. I mean,
very good.
Hey, Stan the Annuity Man here. Did you like that little taste of my podcast, Fun with Annuities? Hey, if you want to see the full version, click the link and watch the whole darn thing. Remember, Fun with Annuities. Live in the reality, not the dream.